Today, I want to talk about how I've made over $500,000 on Etsy. This is the blueprint for exactly what I did with no BS, no bullshit, no fluff. I sat down, took the time, and broke out everything that I've done over the last several years to get to this point. So I want to talk about this today and give you the 13 steps that you can repeat and that you can follow in your Etsy business, because I want you guys to learn. I want you guys to be successful as well. So I'm going to go through this entire process today with you so that you can immediately take action in your business. And that's what I want for you guys. And that's why I am doing this. But let's start here. Who the heck am I? I'm LL, of course. But why the heck should I pay attention to this jabroni, this dude telling me how much he's made supposedly on Etsy? Well, the reason that you should listen to me is because, here's exactly the proof. This is a screenshot up above of my recent stats as of a couple of weeks ago. Over 532,000 on, this is just the one shop. I've had several other shops. This is my most successful one by far. And it just goes to show you that maybe your first shop is not going to be as successful as maybe your second or your third, and why you should keep trying. But I've been selling in the e-commerce world since 2000. I started on eBay. I found some success there, but I've moved into other platforms, into Etsy. I've sold on Shopify. I've sold on Amazon, Poshmark, a lot of different places I've sold. And I've built multiple six-figure e-commerce businesses. So I've learned a little bit about what works, but more importantly, what doesn't, what not to do. This is the mistakes that I've made that I don't want you to have to fall into, the traps, the pitfalls that I don't want you guys to have to fall into, which is what I'd like to share with you today a little bit in this presentation, if that's okay with you, which I'm sure it is. That's why you're here. That's why you're continuing to listen. But I have also taught, I've pivoted. I still sell a lot in the e-commerce world. I still sell full-time on Etsy, but I've pivoted the last several years into teaching other Etsy sellers how to start, build, and grow their businesses. I've taught over 500 Etsy students in every niche or niche imaginable. I get tore up every time I get tore up if I say niche. I get tore up if I say niche. So I just say them both now. Who cares? It's a word. And that is why I've founded the Handmade and Beyond community, the Handmade and Beyond podcast, YouTube channel, to provide free and paid resources to help Etsy students that are tired and frustrated, don't want to figure it out on their own, that want to learn from someone that's done it and is doing it and move along in their journey a lot faster and get the support and the mentorship. So I enjoy coaching. I enjoy teaching. In the corporate world, that's what I did a lot. So I have really kind of leaned into that the last couple of years with the specific teaching people in the Etsy space. I really enjoy it. I really like seeing the successes and helping people grow their businesses, and more importantly, get the support that it's hard. The journey is lonely. So it's nice having the support from someone that's done it and someone that you can trust. So the plan today is I want to share how I did it in 13 steps with, like I said, no BS. This is exactly what I did. My goal is always the same: to help other Etsy sellers move faster, make less mistakes, and be less frustrated. This is why, why struggle figuring it out yourself when you can just follow someone else who's already done it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It makes sense? Frustrated person on the left, unfrustrated, happy person on the right. We want you to be this happy person on the right, especially by the end of this training here. All right, so the promise to you is by the end of this training, you guys will know 13 steps I've followed, so you can start to implement those steps into your business, whether you're getting ready to start, just started, or have already been in the business for a while. There are always changes you can do to make to improve. If I could spit my words out, like I keep saying, I want you to be less frustrated, move faster, and make less mistakes, and more money on Etsy. Victory fist on the right. That is what I want for you inside the Etsy space. All right, so let's dive into this. The first step is your niche foundation. What do I mean by this? Well, this is really important, and a lot of shops miss this part, but the nice thing is you can go back and reset it. So don't worry if you've messed this up. already. There are a few parts of this that I want to kind of dive into, hopefully drive this point home and make it make sense for you. So the first part of this, as far as the niche foundation, is find a high traffic niche and or sub niche. Look, traffic, lots of money. You got to find a high traffic niche and a high traffic sub niche. You like my graphics? This is a kind of cool, sweet graphics that you can expect in this presentation. If you're trying to sell a product where there's no demand for it, you're not going to be successful, period. Finding a niche that has a lot of traffic and sales will drastically increase your chances of success sooner than later. A lot of people make this mistake where they're not in a high traffic niche, or they just don't know. And this is what you should definitely avoid. So how do you know how much traffic a niche gets, or how can you find out? Well, you guys need a tool. You need to continue to invest in your business, and this is a great way to invest in your business is by using a tool such as Allura. I'll have links below wherever you're watching this if you want to do a free trial of them. I'm an advocate for them because I've been using them for years, but there's other ones out there that do similar things. Really doesn't matter at the end of the day. This is just something to help you so you're not flying blind. You can use tools like this to do niche research by looking up various keywords relating to your niche to see traffic and sales. Allura has sales data for specific keywords, which is why I like them over some of the other competition out there. So you don't need to fly blind. You need to make a data-driven decision so you're not wasting time or hindering your own success. If you don't know, then you're wasting your time. This will help you at least know if you're on the right track. So this is a necessity, is to do the proper research beforehand, before you get deep into it, to save time, to save frustration, but make data-driven decisions. The next part of this is you must have a high listing ceiling. Your whatever niche you choose must have a high listing ceiling. So what do I mean by that? You need to have the potential to list 100, 500, 1,000 listings over time. If your niche limits you, then you need to find one that's more robust, that you can add a bunch of different listings relating to your niche and really build it out. So more listings help you test what works, what sells, so you can learn and continue to move faster. More listings also help show the algorithm that you're the best shop to send customers to. So for a good example is if maybe you're in the baby clothes niche and you have 5 baby clothes with animal prints, and then there's one of your competitors has 50 or 100 listings with baby animal prints, who do you think the algorithm is going to send that traffic or that customer to? The shop with 50 or 100. Why? Well, because the chances of that person finding a baby print shirt that they like and that they're going to want to buy is going to be a lot higher than with your shop that only has 5. So that's the reason they're going to send it, because at the end of the day, the algorithm's only goal is to make sales for Etsy. So you got to leverage that algorithm to work for you by giving it more data related to your listings. And how do you do that? Give it more listings with more keywords relating to your niche so that you can start to capitalize on that traffic and be the best place, or at least in the running, to have the algorithm send you that traffic so that those people can buy from you as opposed to those other shops. The other part of this is you must have, this part 3 is you must have passion. This person, this picture, the fire around them, that is the passion. You must have passion because I shouldn't have to say this, but many shops fail because someone doesn't even like what they're selling. They're not even interested in it. They're just trying to make a quick buck. So they're just throwing mud up on the wall, being like, oh, I'm going to throw stuff out there. I don't even care about what I'm doing. This isn't sustainable. You're going to lose interest, especially when things aren't doing well. So passion will keep you going when you're not making sales, which inevitably you will not make sales early on. It's part of the journey, part of the process. So passion will keep you going even when you're frustrated, even when traffic is down, sales are down. You got to keep going, and that is the recipe to keep going. Part 4 of this niche foundation is I recommend having a 30% profit margin or higher. What is a profit margin? This is basically the profit that you make after all of your expenses and fees and overhead are taken out of it. So how do you figure out profit margin? You take all your expenses, fees, and overhead, add them up, and you divide it by the revenue, and that's your profit margin percentage. The easier way to do that is just go look up a calendar. You can do profit margin calculator on Google, and it'll bring one up. If you use Allura, they have one too, which also includes the Etsy fees. So you don't have to figure in those percentages, which makes it a lot easier. And it's completely free. This calculator, whether you subscribe to them or not, you can use it free all the time. So that's under the resources tab there. So why is this important? Well, I've seen this problem bubble up to the surface in many sellers. With not enough profit margin, there's not enough meat on the bone. So you can't account for increases in fees, increases in supply costs, and you're not going to be able to do sales or promotion. So it's a race to the bottom and a lose-lose situation. You're only going to get frustrated because you're not making any money and you're working for pennies. So if you start out early on, you're doing this research that I'm telling you to do, your niche foundational research, finding your products and whatever you're going to sell, and you're not able, and you're going to research, your supplies, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. It's going to play into this, but at the end of the day, once you figure up all these numbers and your profit margin is 5%, just move on and find another niche or find something else that you're passionate about to sell, because you're never going to survive at a 5% profit margin. You're just not. You're not going to make any money. Etsy raises their fees by 1%, you're done. It's going to kill your profits, or what little profits you have. So you got to account for those things. So starting out with a profit margin and a niche that you can squeak out 30%, 40%, ideally 50% would be awesome. If you can squeak out that, you have meat on the bone. So you can still survive if there's a fee increase. You can still survive if you want to run a sale to create urgency. So that is my suggestion for you. Don't start out with a small profit margin. A lot of people do, and they find out at the end of the day, once things start going, they're like, I'm not making any money. I'm actually losing money doing this, and that is not what we want to do. When you eventually do get sales, you want to be able to make money and not lose money getting sales. That's just ridiculous. So consider this. This is a big part into the proper foundation that you should go into this with. All right, let's move on to step 2, and this is costs. So this is also really important to your foundation, is to keep costs down. And this also plays into profit margin, which I was just talking about. But here are some ways to keep costs down and some considerations for you when you're kind of putting the pieces together for your business. The first way is to find a wholesaler, source wholesale. So you may need to have an EIN number, which you can file as a sole proprietor with the IRS, and I believe get an EIN number. You can also do an LLC and get an EIN number. Check with your accountant. I'm not an accountant. I'm not an accounting expert, but the important part is they may require an EIN number, so you just have to figure out how to get one to be able to get wholesale. Now, there's other wholesalers out there that don't require this, but you just have to investigate, depending on your niche, what's out there. So it's very important. You're not going to be able to get stuff from Michael's or Target or Walmart to paying full price. That's never going to help you get your costs down. You need to get high quality stuff from a wholesaler at cost. That is really key. So another pro tip for you is try to find one with a low or no minimum. So a lot of wholesalers will require you to buy a minimum amount. There's some out there that won't, so I would suggest trying to find one with no minimum, because you want to try to keep inventory low and keep your overhead low. And that's one way to do it. You don't want to have a ton of stuff that you don't know if it's going to sell. And then also try to find one that offers free shipping, or at least a free shipping incentive. So maybe they will give you free shipping if over $100 of purchases or something like that. But again, the key to this also is once you do find a wholesaler, do not overspend, do not overbuy, especially if you don't know if your stuff is going to sell. All this foundational work that you're going to do is going to give you the best chance of selling stuff, but still, don't go out and make 100 products of something that you don't know if it's going to sell or not, right? Start small, keep overhead down, keep costs down. The next part of this is if you have a POD company, print on demand, try to find a company that has a lower cost. Now, this is tough. This is honestly easier said than done. POD is tough because it does cost a lot more. So naturally, your margins are going to be a lot lower. It is going to be darn near impossible to get a 30% margin using POD. I'm just going to be flat out telling you that. POD is more of a numbers game. You got to try to keep your costs down as much as possible. But in order to make any money on POD, you got to have a ton of stuff out there. But it doesn't mean that you can't be successful. There's been a lot of people that are. You just have to really, really do your groundwork, refine your niche, and do this groundwork so that you can have the best chance of success when you are selling stuff. Just know you're going to have to sell a lot more because your margins are going to be a lot tighter, but you can still do that groundwork as far as finding a supplier that hopefully has lower costs and that you can take a little bit more money and they take a little bit less. The other part of if you're doing printables, downloadables, you can keep costs low by using a free or a lower paid version of Canva, which is inexpensive, rather than using other more expensive design software out there. Canva has a really robust free version, but their paid version is pretty inexpensive. I think it's less than $20 that you can design and create printables, downloads. So use a software that's inexpensive, especially early on, so you're keeping your overall costs down. And the more you keep your costs down, the more profit you're going to have at the end of the day. And that brings us to step 3, opening. You're going to open your business, but after you do this foundational groundwork that I just talked about, some of you probably have already been opened. That's fine. This stuff is just kind of going to recap and help you recalibrate maybe the stuff that you didn't do early on. So don't tune it out. It's still important. So I'm going to start this with a warning. Sorry, I'm not trying to be a buzzkill, but your shop, if you are just opening and maybe you've been open, you're going to be like, okay, yeah, LL is right. Definitely, he's right about this. Your shop will take time to build, and it's going to be delayed gratification. Most of you will not make sales for months or even years when you open, and that is the frustrating part. That is why shops quit and people do not survive, and the majority of shops fail within the first year because people are not willing to wait for the delayed gratification. You have to put in work, continue to work on your shop and your business for months and months and hours and hours and hours without any sales. And that's hard to do. That's a tough pill to swallow. Most of you are going to be like, well, this sucks. This is crap. I'm not getting any sales. Why the heck am I spending all these hours doing this? I'm not going to do it anymore. It's too painful. Well, you have to know that the work you do now is going to pay off in the future, and it's going to start to snowball. And if you don't put in that work now and you're not willing to do the delayed gratification, then you're not going to find success down the road. So just know that going in, and maybe you're already there. Maybe you've been open for 6 months and you have very little sales or no sales. You're in it right now. You're in that frustration. You're in that step of dismay. Dismay? Am I saying that? It sounds weird. Anyways, you're dismayed. It's hard to keep going. You're not as motivated, but just know you have to continue to do the work in order to see the results down the road. You got to keep doing it. And hopefully this training will help you recalibrate some things and reset some things so that you can start to see success faster and not wait as long. But just know that going in, please have the right mindset so that you know what to expect. So you know this is part of it and you just keep going. All right, so moving into the opening stage, the important parts of this when you do open up are to set up your entire shop. And this means all of your shop sections. Please don't skimp on this. A lot of people do not fill out their entire shop. It will help you. If you don't, it will hurt you. The algorithm doesn't like to see incomplete shops. Buyers don't like to see incomplete shops. It helps build trust out there. All right, so make sure all your shop sections are filled out. The next step is add 100 listings in your niche in the next 3 to 6 months, right? Not all at once, but over time. Be consistent, slow, steady, and consistent. That is the key. But you should have the plan for 100 listings based on the foundational groundwork that you did back in step 1. You should have that plan. And your job over the next 3 to 6 months is to release listings every single week relating to your niche to get to 100 as soon as possible. So have a weekly goal, whether you're doing like 5 a week, 10 a week, whatever it is, break it out. Again, don't do it don't do a huge batch in one day. Be consistent. Slowly feed the algorithm over time with your listings and your keywords based on your research. So that is most important when you're opening your shop. The next part of this is to do product and keyword research for your listings before you put them up. I can't stress this enough. So you did your pre-niche foundational work to make sure that you're in the right niche. Well, do the same groundwork for your listings that you're actually going to put out there before you make your products. So don't guess. You make data-driven decisions with the tools that are easily accessible. This will put you ahead of the people that are not doing this. And the bar is very low. A lot of people are not doing the proper research, hence why they're not seeing the results. They're not seeing the sales on Etsy because they just don't know if there's even a demand for what they're putting out there. They don't even know if there's traffic. So do the research to find the best keywords for your listings to at least give you a chance, at least get you inside the game, right? That is the goal by doing this research. So use a program such as Allura or whatever you want to use to do that research so you're finding not only the best keywords, but making sure what you're selling people are looking for and wanting to buy, and that there's actually a demand for it. Step 4 is learn and leverage. This stage is something you will do over and over again, and it will help ensure your long-term success. So many sellers did not pay attention and have their head in the sand, which leads to frustration and poor results. You can see this person's head in the sand because they're not paying attention to what Etsy is telling them, to what buyers are telling them, to the actual data out there. I'm going to help you leverage that and learn so that your head's not in the sand and you can do better and do what the majority of sellers are not doing out there. So how do you learn and leverage? Well, you're going to look at what's selling and getting traffic. If you're not getting sales yet, what's getting traffic, right? Even if it's not a lot of traffic, what is the uptick? So you're going to go into your listing stats. There's a little gearbox, and you're going to see what is getting traffic or sales in the next 3 to 6 months. You should start at a minimum seeing some type of traffic to some of your listings. Maybe it's 10 visits, maybe it's 20 visits, whatever the case may be, but pay attention to what is getting that traffic. And you're going to use this information to help you make future decisions inside your shop. Exactly what I was talking about. So the next step of this is based on what you've just learned, what's getting traffic, what's getting sales. Hopefully you're getting sales by now. If not, what's getting traffic? You're going to use that information to add more listings related to what's getting results. Again, even if it's only traffic that's telling you something important. So add these 50 to 100 listings over the next few months. Do keyword research again, and you can even use similar keywords if they're relevant to what products are doing well. If there are products that are selling or getting a lot of traffic, see what keywords are in those listings and apply those to your new listings if applicable. If they're not applicable, then don't use them. But they're telling you, customers are telling you, whether they're buying or they're coming to your shop consistently, that's the type of stuff that they're interested in. So we're going to leverage that. So even if you have listings that are just getting traffic and no sales, they're still telling you, okay, people are looking for those things. They're not quite buying your stuff yet, but maybe you're just missing the mark. Maybe if you do something similar, then that's really going to key in on what they really want over time. So we're going to use that information to at least give us some type of informative decision or some type of action step based on those stats. And then we're going to release more listings. The next part of this is tweak any product or cost-based issues. So this may be if you have any shipping issues, supply issues, efficiency issues. Over time, you're going to fix those that you're seeing. All right. So if you're always going to have to evaluate your business and especially the cost to maintain profitability. So whether you're just starting or have been in business for a while, go back and reevaluate your costs. Can you do better on shipping costs? Can you do cheaper packing materials, get wholesale stuff, change shipping prices? Can you do better on supplies? Find another wholesaler, find someone that's better. Are you wasting time on tasks that you can make more efficient? So example is, I see this a lot, people still wait in line in the post office to pay for labels. Not only is that not cost efficient, you're paying more, you're losing a ton of time. Use Etsy to print out your labels. You get the discount on labels, and then you just drop them in the box at the post office. Never wait in line. And not to mention, it makes you feel like a badass. You get to skip the line, throw your packages on the table, and you do a power move out of there because you're not having to wait in line like a peasant. So that's just one of the. There's a lot of things you're going to find that you're going to be inefficient, that you're wasting time on. You need to spend time on things that are going to generate revenue. So continue to reevaluate your business to see if you can cut costs and time savings. And that brings us to step 5. So in case you've been sleeping for the last 30 years, hopefully not, under a rock, under a bridge, reviews are important to a business's success. They are probably the most important thing to success long term. They're the first thing someone looks at. You go to stay at a hotel, you look at the reviews. You go to a restaurant, you look at the reviews. You buy online, especially from a shop that you don't know, you look at the reviews, because that is the number one indicator of future happiness with your buying decision. With Etsy, reviews not only help build trust, but Etsy rewards good reviews with an SEO boost, meaning it could help you get more traffic over time. So it's important to get reviews early and often. So here's how. Especially if your shop has no reviews, you're going to ask for them. And even if it has some reviews, you're going to ask for them. And how are you going to do that? By reaching out to ask for them. So you're going to send messages to people that have their orders delivered inside the Etsy platform. Make sure that they're okay. Hey, I see your order's been delivered. I just want to check in, make sure you're happy with your order. If so, would you mind leaving me a 5-star review? I'd really appreciate it. Simple as that. It's a simple ask. Reach out, ask for them. Now, the thing about this is it's not scalable long term as you grow and you start to get a lot of sales, which is the goal, right? Hopefully this is a good problem to have. You start getting 5, 10, 15 sales a day. You're not going to have time to do this. And Etsy does send out reminders to ask for reviews, but people a lot of times ignore them. So by sending them manually, you're going to give them a little bit more of a personal touch, but it's also super important to ask for them early on, because you want to build up those 5-star reviews in the hopes that, well, not only people will see them, but in the hopes that it's going to pad you if eventually you get a 1-star, or 2-star, or 3-star. You don't want to, if you only have 2 reviews and one of them's 5-star and one of them's a 1-star, it's going to lower your overall rankings to like a 3. So get enough 5 stars to pad you. If you do get a 3-star, it's not going to move you. You're still going to be 5-star average. But it's also going to help you when it comes to SEO. So make sure the reviews are a priority early on. So the best way is to ask for them. Another good way is to add a message on your orders, on your packing slip. That again is customer service friendly. You can edit your packing slip to include a message. So you can, again, say you really appreciate them, ask that for them to reach out for you if there's any problems with your order. If not, and they're happy, please leave a 5-star review. So you can write that message on your packing slip that you're including in the packaging. All right, so that is going to be your review push. It's going to be important, especially if you're a newer shop, especially early on. Once you have the padding on reviews, it's going to matter a lot less. Obviously, you're going to still do the things to get the reviews, quality products, ship fast, all that stuff, but you're not going to have to ask for them as much. All right, step 6. Start promoting. By this point, your shop should have a solid foundation. So now it's time to market and promote your shop to put a little gas on the fire. So how do we do that? Well, the best way is to run consistent sales and promotions, and this is why profit margin is important. So you have enough margin to run sales and promotions, enough meat on the bone. Doing this helps create urgency for people to buy and creates excitement for people to buy, because people love a great deal. You know you love a great deal when you go in and you see an end cap and it's 50% off, or you see a clearance section, or you see a whatever sale 20% off, and especially if it's something that you're interested in buying anyways, that's awesome. People love a great deal. But also it allows you to stand out in search. If you're running sales and promotions, when they're finding you in search, it'll show your normal price and it'll show 25% off or 20% off with a markdown price. So people love to see that. I run sales, not consales. I run sales consistently. I can talk, I promise. I suggest you guys do the same. Consistent sales every single month. Boom, boom, boom. The argument I get is people will always see you running sales and not be enticed to buy. Listen to me, 99.9% of people are finding you in search and will never find you again and will never come to your shop. So this is why it's important to engage them when they find you in search, entice them to buy from you. The best way is running a sales and promotions. So it creates urgency. They click in and want to buy. Obviously, you're going to entice them with a great picture, great listing, great product, great quality, great description, all the other stuff. The sales is just getting them in the door, and then you're going to sell them with your listing. The other part of this is set up coupon codes. Etsy allows you to set up coupon codes for favorites, adds to cart, post purchases, and also add a coupon code on your packing slip. Do this. It's just another way to give people an incentive to come back and buy from you or come to you and buy from you. The next part of this, of step six in promoting is social media. So set up socials. And this is purely optional, right? There's a lot of strong opinions on social media. And I want you guys to know that it is not a prerequisite to sell on Etsy. Can it help? Sure. There's lots of people that do not do social media and that do very well on Etsy. I am one of them. I've done very well on Etsy with very little social media for some of my shops. So it is possible. You don't have to do it. If you don't want to do it, then don't. It's your business at the end of the day. You have to make the decision. If you freaking hate social media and it's going to ruin your day doing it, then don't do it. You capitalize on the Etsy traffic by having an awesome shop and all the other stuff that I'm going to talk about inside this training. But if you want to do it, pick one or two channels, set them up. Don't try to do all the social medias. Do one or two. And then the key of social media is be consistent with sharing content and have it be value oriented. I mean, and this could be an entire training in itself, but you must provide value and not just ask people to buy, or you will never gain momentum. You can't just ask and take, right? You have to give way more than you take when it comes to social media. So you're going to share out valuable content relating to your target audience, relating to your niche, and over time they're going to start to come to you and then start to buy from you. But that is really the key with social media is consistency and creating value related to your target audience. Moving on to step 7, this is capitalizing on trends. This is a fantastic way to add additional revenue to your business year round. Many shops have a lull or seasonality to them built in. You can fight against that with this strategy. So how do you do this? Well, you add 50 to 100 seasonal or holiday items to your shop. So based on your niche, based on product and keyword research, you're going to work on adding 50 to 100 seasonal and holiday products into your shop. And what you add is going to vary depending on what your niche is, right? It's not going to be the same for everybody, but just a pro tip here, this will probably be the same for everyone. Christmas is a very easy win here. Anything can be a Christmas gift, but if you actually do Christmas themed stuff, you are really increasing your chances of sales. But no matter what you sell, you can retarget it as a Christmas gift. You can change your keywords being like, oh, it's a Christmas gift. Or you just release Christmas stuff. And that's a lot easier of a lift and a better chance of getting sales. Also, don't only think about holidays, right? Seasonal stuff can be, there's a lot of seasonal stuff that is outside of holidays. Wedding season, back to school, fall, spring, nurses week, teachers week, lots of options here. So look at your niche and look at what seasonal and or holiday events you can kind of capitalize with your listings. And that may be remarketing existing listings to those seasons or holidays, or creating brand new listings targeting those seasons or holidays. You will be surprised at how much of a revenue boost you can get from targeting these specific seasons and holidays. And the biggest reason for that is an enormous traffic influx, right? A lot of people are coming to Etsy during those time periods looking for that stuff. So it's significantly increasing your chances of people finding you and buying from you if you have what they want, because the demand is so high. And it's kind of circles us back to everything that we were talking about early on. A lot of the foundational elements of this is capitalizing on huge demand. So it kind of brings it full circle, and that's a great strategy. Again, the other part of this, like I just mentioned, is retargeting existing listings. So you don't need to always make brand new listings. You can retarget your existing listings to these seasonal events or holidays by changing keywords in your listings or duplicating them and changing the keywords. Good example of this, if you sell wallets, you could then retarget your wallets to Father's Day. You can then put in the listings to Father's Day gift for dad wallet, etc., stuff like that, because people will then they're searching for that in the big demand part of that holiday, which it is. Then they're going to be more apt to find your stuff. Where if you didn't change it, yeah, sure, some people are going to be searching for wallets, but most people are really not sure what to buy for dad. So if you're having those keywords in your listings will pop up and they're like, oh, that's a great wallet, I'll buy that for dad. So you can do that with most of your stuff. Retarget those to the specific seasonal or holiday events that are coming. Step 8 is performance check. This should be a part of your normal workflow. I know I have this as step 8 because this is a natural progression of kind of the way that I did things. But you need to consistently monitor performance. So A, you can make changes to improve, and B, leverage the positive information to grow even faster. A big part of this, if you haven't caught on right now, is making data-driven decisions and using the information to our advantage. The other things that other people are not paying attention to, you're going to pay attention to it, and it's going to help you move faster. So part of this is tweak underperforming listings. So look at your listings that are not getting traffic or sales and start to tweak them after about 6 months or more. Don't touch them too soon. You'll mess things up if you do. A lot of people are not getting sales or traffic, so they tweak stuff after a week. They tweak stuff after 2 weeks. They tweak it after a month. They keep messing with it. The algorithm doesn't know what the heck's going on with it, so the algorithm just keeps pushing it back in search and whatever. And then people will never see it. It's never going to perform well. So most likely, most people will need to change their SEO, meaning their keywords that are in their listing. Usually, that is a problem if you're not getting traffic or you're getting low traffic. So that is what you look at your listings after 6 months or more. They're not getting any traffic. Chances are people are not finding them, and they're not finding them because the SEO is wrong. You need to tweak the keywords, and this happens even if you did keyword research, right? You're giving yourself a better chance, but it doesn't mean that all your listings are going to do well. And overall, there's a lot of variables at play. So even if your SEO is top notch, there's other factors that may be causing your listings to underperform because everything kind of plays together in harmony. So you got to kind of get all the bells and whistles together, playing together in harmony. But this is one of the best things that you can do over time is continue to tweak and play with your SEO to get more traffic and sales. Step 9 is start an email list. I know, don't freak out. How dare I say this, but this may be scary. But what most people don't realize is that emails convert 6 times the rate of social media. So if you don't like social media, maybe consider starting an email list. Again, this is not a prerequisite to success on Etsy, but it's going to help add some revenue to your overall revenue. Not redundant, right? So if you want to give this a try, you can definitely start an email list and get extra sales and grow your audience. So the first step of this is to build your list. So you can create an email list through incentives, usually a discount code, and you post that code to your announcement section or even the listings itself. Like, hey, get 20% off. Click on this link and sign up, and then you'll set it up where it'll email them the link. They'll come back and buy from you. So the goal of your email list, of having an email list, is that you own it. And you can remarket to the list whenever you want to increase revenue. It's kind of like magic when you start to have a bigger list. You just send an email and people will come and buy. But you got to get people on that list, which is the first step. And usually you got to give them something. You can't just be like, sign up for my newsletter. No one wants to sign up for a newsletter. They do want a discount, or they do want something of value. So that is how you get them on your email list. And it takes time. Once you set it up, it takes time, just like anything else. But the sooner you start, the sooner you start getting people on that email list to market to. The last part of this is to use an easy platform. It's hard enough for people to start an email list without using a complex platform. So an easy platform, again, Alora has an awesome email CRM built in. You're already using it for keywords, so it's just a bonus. You don't have to pay for another platform. So it just makes sense because it's already integrated. But there's others out there. There's MailChimp, there's Aweber, which I've used as well. So regardless of what you decide to use or what you're familiar with, use something that you're familiar with. Set it up, get that code in there, get the link so they can sign up for the discount code, and then they'll start getting on your list. And then as the list grows, you can start to set up an email plan, an email marketing plan. You can market to them through promotions, new items. Again, same thing with social media, is about creating value for them, not always asking them to buy. But again, once you build your lists, it's a great way to make additional revenue and also build a loyal following of people that are seeing what you're doing, that are interested in the new products and the stuff that you're creating. All right, step 10, moving along. We're almost done. Woo! Is add more listings, right? This is like the common theme of this, but we're being strategic, right? You're always adding listings, but in a specific way based on the data, based on data-driven decisions. So here's more ways to do this, right? That we're going to continue to do this. That's going to continue to fuel our growth. Add a new sub-niche to test, right? If you sell baby clothes with animals on them, maybe you try baby clothes with mythical creatures on them, or clowns on them, or some other sub-niche, right? You kind of branch out and try different sub-niches under your niche that makes sense. And you're going to hit some home runs eventually. The more that you try, you're going to find some really good ones that you're going to really key in on. Another way to do this is add low, middle, and high-priced items. This is going to cater to different buyers, different budgets. So why do you want to do this? Well, some buyers want cheaper, some buyers want more expensive. Most buyers are in the middle. But you're going to give them ways to do this. And some people want a high-priced item and then maybe a low-priced item, or a couple low-priced items and a middle-priced item. So if you've ever been into some Starbucks, right, not all of them, but some will have, if you go in there, some will sell an espresso maker. And it's like $1,500 or something crazy, right? It's expensive. And you're like, who in their right mind would buy an espresso maker in Starbucks? I'm certainly not going to do that. But people do. There is a small percentage of people that will go into Starbucks and they're like, I need a last minute gift. I really want an espresso maker. I have money that I want to burn, whatever the case may be. So there is a small percentage of people that are buying those espresso makers. That's why Starbucks has them. So they are adding to their revenue by having a super high priced item. If they didn't have it, no one's going to buy it. But the fact that they have it, they are getting additional sales and revenue on that. Is it going to account for the majority of their sales? No, absolutely not. But it's going to add to their bottom line, and it's going to basically give them additional revenue. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to have higher priced items. Are the majority of people going to buy them? No, but you are going to have people in there that like your stuff. And they're like, I want to buy the most expensive thing. Maybe I have high priced taste, or maybe I want to impress my friend with the most expensive gift. Whatever the case may be, again, if you don't offer them, no one's going to buy them. So take yourself out of the equation. I know, but most people are like, well, no one's going to buy this. It's very expensive. Don't say that. You have no idea. You are not them. Your goal is to give them the opportunity to spend more money with you. So offer those price range items. Another way to add more listings is add more variations based on what's working. Maybe you add additional, maybe you have one design that's doing really well. So you add it in a different style, a different color, a different print. So you're adding more variations based on what's working. A lot of people will look at their items like it's one and done. Okay, this baby giraffe shirt is doing really well. So good to go. I'm going to move on and put up other stuff. Well, maybe you could offer the baby giraffe shirt and make it into, maybe do baby giraffe pants, or maybe do baby giraffe shirt in pink now, or do a baby giraffe shirt with an entire giraffe family on it. So you're using the information to expand on what's working and not looking at your stuff like it's one and done, which a lot of people do. We're very one and done, one-sided when they're looking at their stuff. Don't do that. Look at your stuff and see how you can leverage it, because the information is out there that it's popular, so you're going to leverage it from even more sales with creating different variations, listings, styles, etc. Step 11, start to advertising. Advertising can be a great way to boost your revenue, but I'm also going to lead with a warning on this. You should not advertise right away, hence why it's step 11 and not step 2 or step 1. Don't do it right away. You should be getting a decent amount of organic sales, meaning basically your stuff is selling organically. People are just finding you and selling organically before advertising, because that's a good sign, because that means that they're finding you and they're liking your stuff, and your SEO is working, your listings are working naturally. And then the key of advertising is you're going to build off that and kind of amplify that. The kind of alternative to that is advertising doesn't fix crap listings. It only wastes your money. So I know it's tempting. Your stuff's not selling, especially early on. People are like, I'm not selling. I'm just going to start throwing money at it. That's just amplifying the reasons that it's not selling. So if it's not selling for a reason. So you're advertising, it's still not going to sell, and now you're wasting money. So it won't fix bad listings. You've got to get organic sales before you start advertising. Otherwise, it's just going to lose money. So that is my warning to you. But if your stuff's clicking, you're starting to get sales, that's a great way to further enhance and increase your revenue. There's 2 ways to advertise on Etsy. There is inside and then there is outside. So inside, you have control over the ads. You set a budget. You can pick which listings you want to advertise. Pretty straightforward stuff. Again, if you do decide to do this, you have to monitor it, you have to manage it. It's a whole nother training of how to manage your ads for effectiveness. So that is the first one. Outside is you can opt in or out. So outside ads, basically Etsy will take certain listings and then they'll advertise them on Bing, Google, Facebook, etc. And you have the opportunity to opt in or opt out to this. If you make less than $10,000 on a rolling period, a rolling 12-month period, you can opt out of doing offsite ads. If you make more than that, you're automatically opted in. Fees are 12 to 15% of the sale, but usually that's capped. Usually it's not as much. So basically, if someone buys, you only pay a fee if someone buys one of your offsite ads listings, and then they charge you a fee up to 12 to 15%. It's usually never that. It's usually it's very low usually. Usually it's like 6% or 5%, but it's only if someone buys. So offsite ads are nice because you're not spending a dime until someone buys from your listings. So I would definitely opt in and see how it does. It does really well for me. It's not going to be a lot, but the few sales I get a month are very, very profitable. Again, if you make more than $10,000, you're automatically opted in. Not too much you can do about it, but I wouldn't worry too much because the profitability is usually really good with offsite ads. It's just you have less control with them, but they're way more profitable than inside ads, in my experience. But again, that's kind of a brief summary of them. That could be a whole nother training, but something to consider when you get to this stage. All right, that brings us to step 12, attract repeat buyers. Repeat buyers are important and long-term can add significant amount of revenue to your bottom line. So here is the best ways to attract repeat buyers. The first obvious way is amazing product and customer service. This should go without saying, but I'm saying it, so it may not be as obvious as you think. People will remember good service, but will punish you for bad service. So more excellent, less bad. Make sure you're friendly, positive, helpful, respond fast, and then offer an amazing product. You shouldn't be selling crap because it's going to come back to bite you. Make sure you're offering quality product and having amazing customer service. The other way is getting strategic buyers is email outreach. If you did do an email list, you can reach out to your email people and with a special offer, new products, best-selling products, some type of value. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this, but email outreach is a great way to get repeat buyers because you're letting them know of your new stuff. You're letting them know of a special offer, a special deal. Another way, kind of similar to what I was talking about before, is sales and promos. So remember, this is super important to new and repeat buyers. This may be sales and discounts, promo codes, all that stuff. People love deals. They will always love deals. So big box stores always do this. So take a note from them and offer a regular sales and promo calendar and special deals. Another way is social media. Again, we touched on this, but if you go this route, it can definitely help you get repeat buyers because your followers will become loyal and they'll buy from you multiple times. It's not easy and it requires a strategy, but it's possible. And many people do it successfully. And if they can do it, you can do it. And if it's one of the things that you want to do, then lean into it, learn it, and be consistent about it. All right, step 13, keep growing based on what you've learned and what you will learn. This whole training is based on that, using the information that Etsy is giving you, the customers are giving you, and leverage that to your advantage. Make data-driven decisions. Knowledge is power, and the more you learn, the more you can apply. This is true for anything, but today we're applying it to your Etsy learning. So here's some strategic ways, if I can spit that out, to keep growing and keep the momentum going. The first thing is implement a consistent strategical listing strategy. All right, be consistent with listing new stuff weekly and adjust your shop. Research new products, new keywords. This workflow will pay dividends for your future success. So consistent weekly listings will lead to consistent daily sales. I promise you that. You're going to base those listings on everything that you've learned in this training on how to leverage the information, do product and keyword research to find the best keywords, the best products, the best sub niches to continue to release products and listings consistently. Here's some goals for you guys. The first one is 500 listings in 2 to 3 years based on what you've learned. That is a good target for you to, once you implement your consistent listing strategy, to continue to list to get to that benchmark. Next goal is 1,000 listings within 4 to 5 years. Seems like a lot, but not. 4 to 5 years is a long time. And once you implement this workflow and are consistent, it's going to be easily attainable for you. And this, everything I've talked about before, is going to help you get there. It's going to give you the plan, the playbook to get there. You're not just flying blind. You're not just throwing random listings out there. You have a plan. You have a playbook to get there. So that's the 2 benchmark goals for you guys, depending wherever you're at in your journey. Even if you've been in the Etsy game for a year or 2, this is going forward. These are your goals, right? This is what I want you to kind of focus on and be strategic and use the tools to get there. The last step, if you choose to take it, if you really want to move faster, I would like for you to join the Handmade and Beyond community. How? Well, you can. There's a link below where you can roll in the Handmade and Beyond community. You get the Etsy Success Roadmap, which has dozens of walkthrough courses showing you advanced training like this, but with more gold nuggets, more strategies to make your journey easier, and you'll get mentorship. I also have live coaching, live group training in there, and then a help forum where you can ask me questions, other members questions, and move faster and get the support. That's usually the missing piece, right? I want to make sure you have all the pieces to be successful, and mentorship is really key to this, is really a foundation. You can have the strategies, I can show you all that stuff, but when you have a question, I want to be there to work with you. I want to be there to help you overcome hurdles and move forward in your business. So I want you inside there so I can help you and work with you. And I'll make it even more of a no-brainer for you. I'll give you 30 days free to try everything out, and also 50% off the normal monthly cost because you made it this far. You're still listening to me, so I know you want the extra help, the extra oomph. This is the #1 program for Etsy sellers to grow long term. This deal is for you since you've watched this training and made it to the end. I know you're serious. You should see a link below to enroll, but make sure you guys don't wait. Depending on when you're finding this, the sweet deal may expire, it may change, it may end. So I want you to be able to take advantage of this. I want to see you in there, and I really want to get everything in one place. This is the entire package for you to get everything in one place, everything you need to grow your business and meet the goals that you want to get with the support along the way. So click on the link below and get inside there. That is all of this training for today. Hopefully it helped. Hopefully I see you on the other side, but have an amazing rest of your day.